You are an idiot, she muttered. That's really kind of mean, lady. What? Did I figure it out and you're pissy about it? Is that what it is? You didn't figure anything out. Oh, God. She paced, drawing another cigarette from I wasn't damn sure where. She snapped her fingers, and it flared to life. And that's about the time my headache pulsed so hard that I felt dizzy. Exasperated, she asked me, Frank, do you not find it patently bizarre that as you told me, you were thrown into an SUV so hard you left a Frank-shaped imprint in the metal, shattered the glass around your head, and it didn't kill you? Yeah, I'm a big guy with a lot of muscle, I answered. I mean, I've taken big hits before, you know. I'm pretty used to it. Frank, you were burned, impaled. You moved in ways people don't move. With injuries, people don't keep moving after sustaining. She told me seriously, intensely. Suddenly, I felt very big. Seriously, I felt like I was taller. You know, I could only assume that was because a powerful and insanely attractive woman was complimenting me. People, Frank, normal people don't survive that. Creatures survive that. Monsters survive that. My head felt like it was going to explode. I felt like I might black out. Nothing made any sense. Well, I mean, I'm strong. Frank, you're what, 7 feet tall, pushing 400 pounds, maybe more? You've got some body fat, but muscle density like that? Frank, come on, she said almost desperately. The docs thought I had some form of gigantism back when I was a kid. That's what my dad told me. She paused, pinching the bridge of her nose, the universal sign for Frank, my God, you're stupid, as I've learned. Fuck's sake, Frank. Okay, you know what? I tell you what. Do you ever have dreams of flying, big guy? Oh, yeah, in airplanes, sure. Had a dream of a hang glider once. She stared at me. I realized I'd said something dumb. Were you on the hang glider, Frank? Were you on the hang glider? She asked with the same tone that one might use when asking a particularly slow child a particularly simple question. Oh, I mean, yeah. See, I always wanted to, hang glide. I think I'm too big, though. I'm not sure. You're floating, Frank. You're floating. Your feet are 6 inches off the ground. It's a start, she told me. I looked down. My feet weren't touching the ground. She wasn't fucking me about. I felt instant terror grip me and started doing the I've got a spider on me panic dance, trying to feel for the wire or the strap or whatever the hell was lifting me off the ground. But there was there was nothing except a vague and hardly defined feeling of pressure, like somebody gripping me beneath my arms, around my waist, around my upper thighs too, sort of like a climbing harness. If a climbing harness felt loose and soft and almost gentle. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, put me the fuck down, put me down now, I ordered. She obliged, and my feet hit the floor. Look behind you, Frank. Look at those you couldn't remember. I had an aversion on them. It's a spell that makes them uninteresting. It makes your brain not record memory of them. I've removed it. Your eyes and head hurt because your natural psychic abilities are trying to pierce through something called the veil. My restaurant and bar's name is a joke on that because we are beneath the veil. Frank, it's not your head that hurts. It's your soul, she told me. I turned and people stared at me. Monsters stared at me. At the closest table, a woman with enormous, beautiful white wings had outright turned her chair around so she could watch. She had on a beautiful dress, something tied behind her neck, but that left her back bare. On account of the wings. At the table with her, there was a red-skinned man in a lovely suit and tie, and he looked really, really amused. A spade-tipped tail lazily drifted back and forth behind him. His horns, ram-like, were polished and immaculate. He watched me with bright golden eyes on black sclera. More people, more monsters. A man with goat legs chatted with a woman of such unnatural beauty I knew she had to be whatever the fuck Lexa was, but still less than Lexa. Less of a presence. The bartender, with his tentacles, yes, tentacles, polished a glass. The tentacles drifted lazily behind him. There were so many more. God, I took it all in. I didn't want to believe it. I couldn't believe it. 2 men and a woman sat naked by the pool with what I was fairly sure was a goddamn werewolf. A few green-skinned men, creatures I would later learn were called Ornai, drank together with some women who had deep gray skin and solid black eyes. It's a costume party. Yeah, so you're having a costume party. I mumbled, unsure where the idea came from. It felt like someone else put the words in my mouth. They felt and sounded hollow, even to me. Something was moving inside of me. Frank, it's not a costume party. This is a bar for monsters. This is under the veil, she told me softly. Mr. Ahadi, he smiled when I looked at him and gave me an encouraging nod. Is that lady an angel? Is that really an angel? I asked softly. What? Oh, Sariel? Yeah, she's an angel. Why? Are those wings real? Those real wings? Yes, Frank, they're real, she replied, sounding somewhat amused. Can I touch them? I asked. I felt dizzy and confused. A lot of things in my life suddenly started to make a little bit of sense, okay? Can you touch her wings? I don't know. Go ask her. I don't own her. And while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and ask Vincent there if he can let you touch his horns. Well, she trailed off and chuckled, and then added, he'll try and get your number. He's extravagantly gay, Frank, just a mincing homosexual. I think you'll like him. I nodded slowly, walking towards them and shaking, like a leaf, or a scared child, or a scared child leaf. I'm not good at jokes. It felt like I was in a dream. Everything at the edges of my vision was all hazy-like. I mean, fuck, man, I was losing it. I hadn't been that out of it since I got drugged while working in Cambodia and lost the tip of my left pinky finger. I still don't know where I lost it. Can I help you, sir? The woman asked, the angel, Sariel. She had a voice like any woman's and a patient smile like any nice woman. Her dress, it was white. Nice, cut well, classy. I remember that much. Can I don't know if this is an awkward question, ma'am, but I'm sorry, may I touch your wings, please? I asked, voice breathy and shaking. I know, fucking bizarre to imagine me sounding all panicked and confused. It happens more often than you think. My wing, oh, you're new to all this. Oh, you poor man, you look so frightened, she answered, rising and turning her back on me. Go ahead, feel them, it won't bother me. It won't. She loves shoulder massages, Vincent added, sounding unendingly amused. Everybody was real fucking amused at Frankie. Look at that dipshit, he doesn't know magic is real. She spread her wings, feathers twitching and moving slightly as she did so. The wings, with their impressive span, were joined to her back with thick, heavily muscled joints that were absolutely not human. Or bird or anything else. structure made for an angel, I guess, or evolved. In fact, her back itself looked quite different than a human's. Different muscle structures, different skeletal structures. And I mean, her back was well muscled. It appeared to me that her torso was actually a little bit deeper front to back than a human being's to accommodate, I don't know, angel organs or whatever. The wings were soft. At the joints, there were soft, downy feathers, like under feathers almost, that faded to smooth skin. I ran my fingers along the feathers of her right wing, appreciating the weight of them. I mean, they were real feathers. The wings were real. I could feel that just touching them. Her dress left her legs just visible enough for me to see the powerful muscle needed to support the added weight of those wings. Though based on the feel of the feathers, there was something more to them than that. Something magical, probably. The wings must have had some kind of enchantment or something to help her fly. I didn't know at the time. I was just... I was speculating. See, that's what I was doing. Either way, she moved and the muscles shifted, the joints adjusted. After a moment, I stepped back and she turned to face me, wings spread wide, and that was an image. Silver, Frank Silver, I said, figuring she ought to know my name. Sariel Roman. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Silver. I'm sorry you had to find out like this. I know how scary it can be. I wasn't sure how the fuck she hadn't known about magic and thus knew how scary it could be, considering she had, let me check, I got a list here, wings. But I just nodded. I just nodded and I turned to Vincent. He rose smoothly, adjusting his tie, and bowed his head forward as if he knew what I would ask. I touched his horns. They were cool and smooth, so smooth it was like touching glass almost, but more natural than that, and less, I don't know, maybe smoother than glass. Like my fingers didn't stick to it a little bit as I touched them, just slid right along. And they grew right out of his goddamn head. It was bizarre, but where the fuck else are they? They're horns, you know? What are they gonna do, grow out of his ass? Probably not. You in the market for a one-night stand, big guy? He asked when I pulled my hand back, staring up at me. His eyes were beautiful. I don't, what? I mean, look, it's not that you're not, handsome. I do swing that way. I trailed off, shaking my head and shutting up before I put even more feet in my mouth. Oh, cut him some slack, Vince. The poor guy's going all culture shock. Just give him your card. Let him go back to Lexa, the angel told the demon. A sentence I never would have even thought back then. Fine, but big guy, you have got to give me a call. We can work on that outfit, among other things, the demon said, giving me a winning smile with teeth so white I thought they must have been magically enhanced, and then I wondered if that was really a thing, and then I wondered why it wouldn't be a thing. My clothes are fine, but thank you, I managed. Thanks for your time, I guess. Oh, honey, the pleasure was all mine, Vincent replied, giving a flourishing little bow. I turned on a heel and practically sprinted back to Lexa. Behind me, the angel whispered, Vinny, do you have to jump on every big, muscular man who walks in? What would Riva think? And Vinny answered with, Oh, sweetie, Riva hates everyone with equal measure. All my sister would think is that she's glad I don't try and drag her out anymore. I made it back to Lexa, who was once again seated with a woman's head in her lap, patiently stroking her hair. I can't believe this. I Oh my God, I mumbled, staring at nothing and trying to process it. It was too much all at once. Frank, is there anything odd about you? Any body feature that's not normal? Any hair in weird places? I'm not hitting puberty, lady. I'm having some issues here. I trailed off trying to think. I actually did have something like that. Well, I mean, I gotta shave my back every day. I got like a regular strip of hair, alright, all the way from the base of my hair, at the base of my skull. My hair just continues down all the way to my ass. Like a back mohawk. Dad said, the docs said it was, another condition. I just shave it, I mean. She blinked. Wait, what? Like, what? Like, the entire back of my neck, that width, all the way down, I answered dizzily. All the way to my tailbone. I shave it. It's like the hair on my head, not body hair, though. My hair is kind of weird, too. I don't know, it's always seemed a bit more, I don't know, maybe people have hair like this. It just, you ever petted a lion? No, Frank, I haven't. I really haven't. That's not normal, Frank. I've never heard of a human with hair like that. In a regular and defined strip all the way down the spine, that wide. Frank, that's not something humans have, she told me gently. Lady, I'm not a monster. I'm just a big guy with a condition, a couple of conditions. I trailed off again and started pacing, kept getting fucking dizzy or felt sick, nauseous, couldn't figure out how to think. Everything made sense, but nothing did. Everything made my thoughts ache, but nothing soothed them. The shifting in my soul continued, growing more and more pronounced, like some kind of membrane whipping back and forth, like something was trying to break through. And it felt like the membrane itself was about to fall apart. Frank, do you want me to do the fire again? Give me your hand. I can show you the fire again, Lexa told me, gently pushing the woman away from her. So she'd get her head out of her lap. The woman moved willingly so that the creature named Lexa could rise. What, so you can turn my hand into a fucking snake or something this time, lady? What are you? Are you a fucking demon, too? Some kind of fucking sex demon or some shit? I'm not gonna turn your hand into a snake, you idiot. I'm not a demon. I'm a damn fairy. Not the Disney kind either, big guy. I'm the real deal. She snarled right back. In a quieter, nicer tone, she added, Frank, it's the veil. It's an energy field. It affects all things human, or apparently even part human, concealing from them the magical world. We don't know who put it in place. Well, okay, we do, but we don't know why, or how it can cover the whole planet, but it does. I've just broken you out of its control, so you can see the truth. Because without seeing the truth, these cultists will kill you. It was too much to think about, too many things to unravel. I was panicking, out of control, dizzy, my heart rate was too high. And then Mr. Ahadi stuck an injection gun against my neck and pulled the trigger. I had my gun out in an instant. Gun hand had never shaken so bad before. It was hard to keep a hold on the pistol. I could barely hold up my cannon. The fuck did you just inject me with? A drug cocktail, he replied, hands out, palms out towards me. The injection gun dangled uselessly from one thumb. It will not interact with the medications you are currently on, you see. It was merely meant to calm you, reduce your heart rate, and give you focus. I recommend sitting down, Mr. Silver, and perhaps lowering your weapon. There are many people here who could peel you like a potato. And I do mean that literally. I sat down. I sat down right on the curved bench Lexa and her girls were draped artfully over. My gun got set aside, my head fell in my hands, and I tried to grasp what was going on. Marcus knew. He knew I was going to come here. That's why he didn't want me to come alone, I mumbled. Marcus? Do you mean Marcus Harcourt? Oh my goodness. What? I demanded. Lexa chuckled. You're the ex he's always talking about. I can see now why he liked you so much, she answered promptly. You know my ex. Wait, is he a fucking wizard too? How did a hottie know I was on medications? I asked, feeling sick. My heart rate wasn't going down. I was in trouble, really bad, and I could feel it. The medications weren't working, they weren't enough, or maybe they weren't strong enough. Frank. He knew what medications you were on because he could smell them in your blood. The words seemed heavy when they hit me. They seemed to put a massive weight on me like a lead blanket draped over every part of me, including my mind. I mumbled, pushing to my feet and stumbling away from her. A hottie stepped aside. I nearly hit the ground right then, vision hazy. Instead, I just stared at the room, and it stared back at me. Something peered out of the deep shadows in the distance, and I met its glowing eyes. I think my life is a lie. I don't remember my knees hitting the floor, but they must have. 'Cause when I fell gentle. I blacked out.